Hello everyone. Today we will start with our next chapter, chapter 11, the phrases. Just will read the words given on the board, on the table, under the chair, after a long time, full of red roses, beautiful dress, morning walk, into the pool, in the east. Now, these are the phrases, but you won't get any meaning. Yes, it is the words, it is a phrase on the table. You can understand that books are lying on the table. But when you will understand the meaning, when I say the books are lying, when I add the subject and verb, then only you will be able to understand its meaning. Now, the phrase alone can't give any meaning. If I split like this, you won't understand meaning. What is the meaning on the table? What is the meaning of that? No, you won't understand. By splitting the word, by use individually, alone. If I use alone, use the on, you won't understand. Like that. So we have to use it collectively. Now, what are the verbs? What are the phrase and what are the subject? Subject and the verb we already learned in the previous chapters. Now, the turn is for phrases. Now, what is phrase? Group of words. Group of words. Here 3 words are there. Here also 3 words are there. Group of words. No subject verb combination. Here subject and verb is not there. Only there is a group of words. Means here we are given only phrases, not the subject verb combination. Why it is not there? Because when there is no action, when there is a no doer, means subject, there won't be any action. If I say, I am writing or I woke up, I am the subject, I am the doer of the action. What I did, I woke up, means woke up is my verb. If there is no subject, how can be there any verb? There won't be any verb unless there is a doer of the action. So no subject, no verb combination. No meaning if used individually, alone. I showed you. If I am using individually, on, the, table, under, it won't get any meaning. If used in sentence, has a unique meaning. If I say, the books are on the table. Now you will get the meaning. On the table. The books are lying on the table. It does not begin with capital letter. Here you will see I have written only small letters. I haven't used in capital letters. End with full stop, question mark or exclamation mark. Here there is no full stop, no question mark, no exclamation mark. This is full stop, this is question mark and this is exclamation mark. You won't find anything like this. And when it gets meaning only, it is used with subject and object. Here we'll make under the table. If I write, the cat is under the table. Now you can understand. आपको पता चल जाएगा under the table क्या है. The cat is under the table. Cat is the subject and this is the verb. After a long time, I can write, Kiran met Bhumi after a long time. Now you were knowing this after a long time, बहुत time के बाद मिले, but there was not a subject and not a verb. That's I added, then it has a unique meaning. Now you can understand what was the sentence. Full of red roses. The garden was full of red roses. Now you are getting the meaning of the phrase. Beautiful dress. Hiral purchased beautiful dress. Morning walk. Dhara goes for a morning walk. Now, into the pool. Here I am talking about the swimming pool. So I can write Nikhil is diving into the pool. Nikhil is diving. You can see the spelling D-I-V-I-N-G. I am not telling driving. I said diving. Diving into the pool. Now in the east, the sun rises in the east. Well, move here on the wall. You won't understand any, you won't get any meaning on the wall. But I say Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty is the subject and sat is the past tense of sit on the wall. So I am getting the verb and subject both here. In the park, children were playing in the park. Now at 6 o'clock, you can write, I woke up at 6 o'clock. I am the subject. Waking means it is the verb, and at 6 o'clock, this is the phrase. On the wall, in the park, at 6 o'clock. These all are the phrases. It got only meaning when I added subject and the verb. Now we saw that from the phrases we form the sentences to give them meaning. Now we'll see how to identify phrases from the given sentences. Here sentences are given and we have to find out the phrase within them. First, I like to eat mangoes. Here I'll ask the question, what? I like to eat what? Mangoes. Then it is a phrase. Now here we saw that from the phrases we form the sentences to make them meaningful. Now we'll see how to identify phrase from the given sentence. Your sentences are given and you have to identify the phrase from them. I like to eat mangoes. Here the phrase is to eat mangoes. One is done for you. To eat mangoes. And I ask the question, what? I like to eat what? To eat mangoes. The boys practice in the morning. Here I'll ask the question, when? When the boys are practicing? In the morning. So in the morning is the phrase. I read all the questions repeatedly. Here I can see that I got the phrase by asking how. How I read the questions? I read the question repeatedly. Nikunj left his bag at this place. Nikunj is lifting the bag. It's putting the bag where? At this place. I got the answer by asking where. Where Nikunj is putting his bag? At this place. Once upon a time, there was a king. This sentence you see in every story. But the phrase is once upon a time. Here I will ask the question when. When there was a king? Once upon a time. Now we will see complete the sentence by adding phrase. Your sentence is there and you have to place in a best manner to make it meaningful. He goes in the bracket at 7 o'clock every day to school. Here I can write he goes to school every day at 7 o'clock. Now, she lives in the bracket with her parents in a small house. Here, she lives with her parents where she is living in a small house. Small house, full stop. Are there, in a bracket, in the fridge, any lemons? This type of question we already learned in the countable and uncountable noun. When there is a negatives and question, we add any. Now, question is there. Are there any lemons in the fridge? Now, there is a, in the bracket, in the corner, broken chair. We can start with here. There is a broken chair in the corner. We can say where it is. There, when I ask the question where, I got it is in the corner. Here we'll come to the next exercise. Fill in the blanks with phrases and complete the proverbs. The picture clues will help you. The clues are given. The picture clues are given. Don't blow your own trumpet. This is the trumpet. When we can see don't blow your own trumpet, when the person is imposing or forcing his views and ideas on others, then we can say don't blow your own trumpet. Second, charity begins at home. Any good things, any good habits, any charity should be, any donation should start from ourselves only. When we can start, then only we can say to others, we can give our ideas to others. At that moment we can say charity begins at home. Dash makes most noise. Here, empty vessels. Here the vessel is empty. Empty vessel makes the most noise. When we can say this proverb, when a person with not much knowledge and he acts and reacts more. He is not having much knowledge, but then also he is acting more or react more on the thing. Then we can say empty vessels makes the most noise. It's no use crying over spilled milk. Here the time which has already passed. You can see the spilt milk over here. The time is already passed and the things is already done. Now there is no use of crying over it. The time is already passed. It is already finished. Then what is the use of crying? Then we can say it's no use crying over spilt milk. There is no smoke without fire. There won't be any smoke unless there is a fire there. There would be no light without the sun. The sun is already given, the clue is already given. It is the main source of energy. Without the sun, we won't get any light. So we can say that there would be no light without the sun. Thank you.